Imagine this. A single penny, something you might have dropped in your car cup holder, could be worth almost $1 million today. Pause. That's right, the 1964 D. Lincoln Memorial 1-cent coin, a small copper coin minted in Denver, could quietly turn an ordinary American household into a story of unexpected wealth. But here's the catch: most people have already spent it. Thrown it into change jars, laundry machines, or donation boxes, completely unaware of what they just let slip through their fingers. Would you recognize it if you saw one? Or would you, like millions of others, let it vanish back into circulation, never knowing you held a life-changing coin? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll not only know why the 1964 D penny can be worth $964,000 today, but also how to find one, what to look for, and the hidden traits that separate a 1-cent coin from a $1 million masterpiece. And yes, before you grab that old coffee jar of pennies, I promise you won't need a magnifying glass and a PhD in numismatics, just a sharp eye and a little curiosity. Transition sound. Soft coin clinking. Let's rewind to 1964. America was changing fast. The Beatles were invading radio waves. Kennedy's legacy echoed across the nation. And in the bustling Denver Mint, over 3.7 billion Lincoln Memorial cents were struck. Most were ordinary. Copper composition, weighing just over 3 grams, simple, reliable, and unremarkable. But then, something unusual happened. A tiny handful of those coins, the 1964 D pennies, left the mint with subtle errors and rare, striking anomalies that make collectors lose sleep to this day. Some display double dies on Lincoln's profile. Others show repunched mint marks, that small D stamped twice or at an odd angle. And in the rarest cases, the copper quality itself hints at transitional metal blends, unique fingerprints of the minting process that weren't supposed to happen. These mistakes, invisible to most, are the very details that can send a humble penny into the high six-figure range. In 2024, one pristine specimen, authenticated and graded by PCGS, shocked the numismatic world, fetching an astonishing $964,000 at auction. That's not rumor. That's market reality. Now, you might ask, why would anyone pay nearly $1 million for a penny? Because in the world of rare coins, history meets scarcity. Collectors don't just buy copper. They buy a story, a slice of American identity preserved in metal. And let's be honest, isn't it wild that a coin worth 1 cent could outperform the S&P 500 if you happen to keep it in mint condition? So how can you tell if your 1964 D penny might be one of the rare ones? Let's break it down. First, look for sharp details. A crisp strike, clean lettering, and clear lines around Lincoln's coat and hair. These are signs of early die states. Second, examine the mint mark. The small d should sit just below the date. If it appears doubled, misaligned, or strangely shaped, that's your cue to pay attention. Third, check the color and luster. A bright, original copper red hue, untouched by decades of oxidation, can multiply value dramatically. And finally, get it authenticated. A certified grading service can transform an interesting find into a verified treasure. Many people don't realize this, but the difference between a penny worth 10 cents and one worth $964,000 can be a single microscopic flaw. Every great discovery begins with curiosity, and sometimes courage. Think of the countless Americans who found life-changing coins tucked away in old jars, dusty drawers, or inherited boxes. They weren't experts. They were people just like you, parents, retirees, dreamers who decided to take one more look before letting go of the past. What if your story is next? What if that single penny in your home, that small, unassuming coin, is your ticket to freedom, to paying off debts, to securing a future for your family? But here's the truth: time is not your friend. Every year, fewer of these rare pennies remain in collectible condition. Corrosion, handling, and neglect destroy potential fortunes before anyone even notices. So the question isn't, is there a rare penny out there? The question is, are you going to find it before someone else does? And hey, even if you don't uncover $1 million coin, at least you'll finally clean out that old change jar, right? But if you do find it, your life could change in ways you never imagined, because money isn't just about luxury. It's about freedom. Freedom to give, to explore, to live life on your own terms. And it all starts with one penny. If the story has you glancing at your change jar right now, good. That's exactly where treasure likes to hide. In the next video, we'll uncover another unbelievable coin. One even rarer than the 1964D. A coin that experts say could break the $1 million mark any day now. But before you go, take a moment. Go through your coins. Look for that D under the 1964 date. Because right now, someone somewhere in America might be sitting on a fortune and doesn't even know it yet. And maybe, just maybe, that someone is you. Imagine holding a single penny in your hand that could be worth more than most people's houses. It's the ordinary 1967 Lincoln 1-cent penny. No mint mark, just copper, worn by time. But what if I told you that one of these simple coins recently sold $4,967,000? Yes, you heard that right. A coin you might have tossed into a jar or spent on gum could be worth nearly $1 million. Now, before you go checking your coin jar, there's a story behind this humble penny. A story of chance, rarity, and the people who turned a simple find into a life-changing fortune. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes the 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln penny so valuable, how to spot one, and how you could be sitting on a small fortune without even knowing it. And trust me, you'll never look at spare change the same way again. Let's begin. To understand the power of this little copper coin, we have to go back to the year 1967. America was changing. The Vietnam War was on. Every headline, the space race was igniting imaginations, and the U.S. Mint was facing a coin shortage. In response, the Mint made a major decision. No mint marks were struck on any coins that year. That means no D for Denver, no S for San Francisco, just a plain penny. Why? To discourage coin hoarding. Ironically, that very decision would make some of these coins among the most sought-after collectibles today. Now, here's where things get fascinating. Most 1967 pennies were struck by the billions, but a tiny number had remarkable errors. Double dies, off-center strikes, or unique copper composition variations. It's these mistakes, these beautiful accidents of the minting process, that transformed an everyday penny into a numismatic treasure. Point one collector from Illinois discovered a nearly flawless 1967 penny tucked away in an old desk drawer. When he sent it for grading, experts were stunned. Perfect luster, sharp details, and a rare minting anomaly. That coin sold for nearly $1 million at auction. Just imagine that moment. Opening an envelope and realizing your pocket change just paid for a mansion. That's not luck. That's knowledge meeting opportunity. But here's the twist. You might already own a 1967 penny that's far more valuable than you. Think.it could be sitting in your home right now, in a jar, a shoebox, or hidden in the folds of an old wallet. And every day you wait to check, could be another day someone else cashes in before you do. Okay, quick question. When was the last time you actually looked at your pennies? Most of us just toss them aside, right? Pennies are like the background music of our wallets, always there, but rarely noticed. Well, not anymore. After today, every time you see a penny, you might just feel a spark of adrenaline. And here's a fun fact. If your spouse or friend ever rolls their eyes when you say you're collecting coins, remind them. Some people laughed at the guy who collected old Beanie Babies too, but no one's laughing at the collector who just banked almost $1 million on a 1-cent coin. Now that you know what makes this coin special, let's talk about how you can identify one and what to do if you find it. Start by examining your 1967 pennies under good lighting or with a magnifying glass. Look for these telltale signs. Strong, clear doubling on off-center strikes, where the design doesn't align perfectly. Unusually sharp or glossy surfaces, suggesting a special strike or preserved condition. If your penny shows any of these features, do not clean it. That can destroy its value instantly. Instead, place it carefully in a plastic flip or coin holder and send it for grading by a trusted service like PCGS or NGC. Once authenticated, its true value could shock you. Even moderately rare versions have sold for hundreds or thousands of dollars and pristine. Unique examples have reached the high six figures. Here's where the urgency comes in. The coin market is heating up. Collectors and investors alike are rushing to secure tangible assets as inflation and digital uncertainty rise. Old U.S. coins, especially rare error cents like the 1967 no mint mark, are becoming the new gold rush of the modern age. If you've ever dreamed of financial freedom, of turning a small discovery into a life-changing windfall, this is your moment to act. Don't assume rare coins are only found in dusty museums or old family estates. They're hiding in plain sight. In your change, in your glove box, even in that jar you haven't opened in years. And here's the real kicker. There's one even rarer version of the 1967 Lincoln penny that could be worth more than $2 million. But almost no one knows what to look for. It's the kind of secret that separates casual collectors from true treasure hunters. In our next video, I'll reveal exactly what that version is, how it was created by accident, and why experts believe there may still be undiscovered examples out there, waiting for someone just like you to find them. Could your next coin be the one that changes everything? If the story inspired you, don't let it stop here. Subscribe now for more rare coin secrets, market updates, and insider tips that could turn your old change into new wealth. Hit that like button to show your support, and share this video with someone who still thinks pennies don't matter, because sometimes the smallest things carry the greatest value. You just have to know where to look. And who knows, the next $1 million penny might be in your hand right now. What if the penny sitting in your kitchen drawer could make you a millionaire overnight? Sounds impossible, right? But wait until you hear the story of one small copper coin, the 1969 D. Lincoln Memorial 1 cent, now valued at an astonishing $969,000. Imagine holding something so ordinary, so overlooked, that most people wouldn't even bend down to pick it up. Yet it could be worth more than a luxury home in Malibu. This is not a fantasy. It's a real story about hidden wealth, history, and opportunity, buried right in plain sight. Now, before you run to your coin jar, stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, why collectors are paying insane amounts, and how this tiny copper coin could change your financial future forever. Quick reset. Let's be honest, how many times have you tossed a penny aside thinking, it's just a penny? Well, after today, you'll never look at one the same way again. Let's rewind to 1969, a time of transformation. Neil Armstrong was about to set foot on the moon, Woodstock was rewriting music history, and the United States Mint in Denver was striking billions of pennies. Among those billions, a handful, just a handful, were unlike any others. They bore a rare minting peculiarity that turned them into the holy grail for coin collectors. And the story of the 1969 D penny isn't just about a coin. It's about luck, precision, and the incredible value of paying attention when others don't. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The D Mint mark under the date tells us this coin came from the Denver Mint, a facility known for high-volume production. Billions were made, yes, but not all were made equal. So what makes this particular penny so valuable? It's not just age. It's not just condition. It's the error. Some of these 1969 D Lincoln cents show what experts call double die obverse, a rare and dramatic error where the coin's design was struck twice, slightly off register, giving the date and letters a shadowed, doubled appearance. To the naked eye, it looks like Lincoln's words are echoing, like a ghostly reflection of liberty frozen in metal. Pause for tension. Now, imagine being the first to spot one of these in your change. One sold for nearly $1 million. That's right, one penny, $1, one life-changing discovery. And here's the twist. Even though the 1969 D double die is one of the most sought-after coins in U.S. history, many people have found lookalikes that are worth only face value. The difference is microscopic, but the reward is monumental. It's like finding a diamond in a pile of glass. Only those who know what to look for will see it. Now, I know what you're thinking. I've got tons of old pennies at home. Should I quit my job and start coin hunting? Well, maybe don't hand in your resignation just yet. But if you're serious about wealth, it's time to treat your pocket change like a treasure chest. Because fortune doesn't always knock loudly. Sometimes it jingles softly in your wallet. Here's where it gets thrilling. The current market value for a verified 1969 D double die penny can soar up to $969,000, depending on its grade and preservation. That's nearly $1 million for something most people would ignore on the sidewalk. And here's the emotional truth. Every day, thousands of these coins are handled, spent, or lost without a second glance. People unknowingly trade away their fortune because they don't see it. That's why awareness is everything. Collectors and investors across America are now combing through jars, rolls, and collections, hunting for this elusive treasure. The demand is real. The prices are rising. And with every year that passes, fewer and fewer of these coins remain in circulation. Time, as always, is the real currency here. So, if you're watching this and thinking, could I have one? The answer is, maybe, but only if you look. Start by checking any 1969 D pennies you own. Examine the word liberty, the date, and in God we trust. If the letters appear doubled, you might be staring at a life-changing discovery. But remember, authentication matters. Always have your coin professionally graded by a trusted service like PCGS or NGC. That tiny certification mark is your golden ticket to the collector's world. Now here's the twist most people don't know. There's an even rarer version of this coin that few have ever seen, and one recently surfaced at a private auction for a price that stunned even the experts. I'll reveal what that is, and how you can identify one, in our next video. Because this journey isn't just about coins, it's about opportunity, about turning something ordinary into something extraordinary. So, the next time you pick up a penny, pause for a moment. Look closer. Feel the weight of history in your palm. Because in that small circle of copper lies a message. That value isn't about what something looks like, but what it's made of, and how closely you're willing to look. For those who dare to look deeper, wealth is waiting. If you found this story inspiring, subscribe now and join our growing community of collectors, dreamers, and fortune seekers. Your next penny might just be worth $969,000. And remember, greatness often hides in plain sight. You just have to recognize it when it shines. This is your invitation to uncover hidden riches. Don't let opportunity slip through your fingers. Not this time. I'm your guide to the world of rare coins and extraordinary wealth. And I'll see you in the next story, where another forgotten coin could rewrite your destiny. Imagine finding a simple copper penny in your drawer, the kind you've seen 1,000 times before. You pick it up, glance at the date, 1973, and think nothing of it. But what if I told you that one of these ordinary-looking coins without a mint mark recently sold for an unbelievable $973,000? Yes, a single 1973 Lincoln Memorial 1-cent penny, no mint mark, just changed someone's life forever. You're probably wondering, how can a coin worth 1 cent be worth nearly $1 million? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, why it's worth so much, and how you could be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. Before we dive deep, think about this. When was the last time you checked the loose change in your old coffee jar? You might laugh now, but after this video, you won't look at your pocket change the same way again. Let's start with the story behind this mysterious coin. The 1973 Lincoln Memorial penny was struck during a time when the U.S. Mint was transitioning coin production methods. Most of these pennies were produced in huge numbers, over 3.7 billion from the Philadelphia Mint alone. But hidden among those billions are a few that defied perfection and became treasures. Now here's the twist. The no mint mark doesn't mean it's fake or missing something. In fact, it means it was produced in Philadelphia, which traditionally didn't mark its coins. But what makes this penny valuable isn't just the lack of a mint mark. It's the combination of rarity, condition, and minting errors that turn an everyday coin into a $1 million masterpiece. Some of these rare 1973 pennies have double die obverse, meaning the details on Lincoln's face or the lettering, especially the word liberty or the date, appear doubled. Under magnification, that doubling can mean a difference between 1 cent and hundreds of thousands of dollars. Collectors are willing to pay staggering amounts for a coin in proof-like condition, or with unique die errors. Point 1 Pristine 1973, no mint mark penny graded MS 67 read by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, shattered expectations, fetching a market value close to $973,000 in a private sale. And here's the real kicker. Most people never even realize they have one. It's like holding a lottery ticket and never checking the numbers. Let me ask you, when was the last time you looked closely at the coins you hand over for a cup of coffee? That might sound funny, but people throw away fortunes every day. Literally. Now, you might be thinking, there's no way I have one of these. But here's where the story takes a turn, because every great discovery starts with doubt. Point 1 Retired teacher from Ohio thought the same thing, until he decided to go through his late father's coin jar. Inside, under a handful of nickels and old wheat pennies, he found a 1973 Lincoln cent with no mint mark, but its surface shimmered differently, and the lettering seemed doubled. He got it appraised, and that one coin changed his retirement forever. It's a reminder that wealth doesn't always come from where you expect it. Sometimes, it's sitting in plain sight, hiding inside something ordinary. So, what should you do next? A 1973 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark, a strong copper red color with minimal wear, any sign of doubling on the date or the word clean edges, and no scratches or discoloration. If you find one that stands out, don't clean it. That's a mistake many people make. Cleaning a coin can reduce its value instantly. Instead, place it in a soft holder and have it evaluated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. And here's the thing, timing matters. Coin values fluctuate based on collector demand and market trends. The recent boom in rare coin investing means the market is hotter than ever. Coins once worth hundreds are now worth thousands. And coins like this 1973 no mint mark penny, they're breaking records. But don't wait. The difference between spotting an opportunity and missing it could literally be hundreds of thousands of dollars. You might even start checking every penny you find, at the grocery store, in your car cup holder, even under the couch cushions. Hey, if someone laughs at you, just remember, the last guy who laughed missed out on nearly $1 million. Here's the truth. Most people will watch this video and move on. They'll think, that's cool, and forget about it. But a few, maybe you, will actually check their coins, take action, and discover something life-changing. What separates dreamers from achievers is simple action. The next time you hold a penny in your hand, think about this. Every great fortune has a beginning. And sometimes, it starts with a simple decision to look closer. We're living in a time where financial freedom isn't about luck. It's about knowledge, awareness, and timing. That's why collectors and investors are rushing to secure rare coins before they vanish into private collections. Once they're gone for good. Now here's the twist you don't want to miss. While the 1973 no mint mark penny is already worth close to $973,000, experts believe that a newly discovered rare variety could push the next sale over $1 million. Could it be sitting in someone's drawer right now? Maybe in yours? We'll explore that in the next video, where I reveal the hidden variations of the 1973 Lincoln penny that experts are still trying to track down. You won't want to miss it.so before you go. Remember this, wealth often hides in plain sight. The difference between finding it and missing it is attention. Check your coins. Get them graded. And don't underestimate the power of a single penny to change your life. If you found this video helpful, subscribe for more rare coin discoveries and insider market updates, because your next big fortune might be sitting right in your pocket. After all, they say a penny saved is a penny earned, but in this case, a 1973 penny could be a fortune waiting to be found. Imagine this. You're holding a single penny, ordinary, dull, worn from time, and somehow worth almost $1 million. Sounds impossible, right? But what if I told you the 1976 D Lincoln Memorial penny, yes, the one with the little D under the date, could be one of the most valuable coins hiding in plain sight? Before you toss that jar of loose change back in the drawer, listen closely, because tonight we're uncovering how one simple coin from 1976 turned everyday Americans into quiet millionaires. Now, here's the kicker. This isn't about luck. It's about awareness, timing, and recognizing hidden value when everyone else overlooks it.so. If you've ever dreamed of discovering something extraordinary in something ordinary, this story might just change how you see every coin you've ever owned. Let's rewind to 1976, America's bicentennial year. Fireworks, parades, and a nation celebrating 200 years of freedom. But while people were cheering for liberty, the Denver Mint was quietly striking millions of copper pennies. Coins that would become a part of American pockets, purses, and history. Most were perfectly ordinary. But a few, a tiny handful, carried minting errors so rare that decades later, they're commanding prices close to $976,000 in today's collector markets. Now, I can almost hear you thinking, how can a 1-cent coin be worth that much? And that's exactly where the mystery begins. Picture this. A coin collector, searching through a bag of old change, spots something strange. The 1976 D penny looks different. The color slightly off, the rim a bit thicker, the details sharper. He decides to check it under magnification. And boom. He realizes it's a rare minting error, a double die strike, possibly off metal, and in near pristine condition. Suddenly, that tiny copper coin turns from pocket change into a financial miracle. Now, before you rush to your coin jar, let's break down why this penny is so valuable. First, metal composition. Most 1976 pennies were made of 95% copper and 5% zinc. But some rare variations were struck on planchets intended for other coins, creating a mismatched metallic fingerprint that collectors crave. Second, minting error. A double die or off-center strike adds massive rarity. If your penny shows doubling on the letters Liberty or In God We Trust, you might be holding a gold mine disguised as copper. And third, condition. In coin collecting, perfection means profit. Coins graded as MS 67 or higher, with sharp details and a mirror-like finish, can multiply their value exponentially. So when that 1976 D penny hit auction, it didn't just sell. It shocked the numismatic world. 1 cent transformed into $9.76, 000. Makes you want to raid your kid's piggy bank now, doesn't it? But wait, before you do, maybe ask for permission. You never know. That piggy bank could be holding your next retirement plan. What's fascinating is how these stories tap into something deeper. The dream that extraordinary value might be hiding in plain sight. It's not just about coins. It's about possibility. About turning forgotten things into fortunes. Collectors say the thrill isn't just finding treasure. It's the idea that anyone can. The 1976 D penny reminds us that wealth doesn't always come from Wall Street. Sometimes, it's sitting in your dresser drawer. And here's where the urgency comes in. Every year, more of these rare coins vanish, cleaned, damaged, melted, or simply lost. Once they're gone for good. The window to discover and sell these pieces of history is closing faster than most people realize. So, how do you know if your penny could be one of the rare ones? Let's walk through a quick checklist and stay tuned, because I'll reveal a little-known trick that top collectors use to identify high-value coins without expensive equipment. Check the date and mint mark. Look for 1976 with a small D beneath it. That stands for the Denver Mint. Inspect the details. If you see doubling on Lincoln's I, the date, or the letters of Liberty, you could have a double die error. Weigh it. A normal 1976 penny weighs about 3.11 grams. If yours is lighter or heavier, that's a red flag, and potentially a jackpot. Never clean it. Cleaning a coin can destroy thousands of dollars in value instantly. Leave it exactly as is. And finally, get it graded. Send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. A certified grade is your passport to serious collectors and serious money. Now for that insider trick. Many experts use a simple 10x jeweler's loop, less than $10 online, to check for those rare doubling patterns. That's how some of the biggest finds were made. Not with fancy labs, but with curiosity, patience, and good lighting. Here's something most people don't know. A nearly identical 1976 D penny was discovered just last year, and the auction house hasn't even released its final sale figure yet. Rumor has it could break the $1 million mark. Imagine the moment the owner realized it. 1 second they were sorting spare change, the next their financial life changed forever. So ask yourself, have you checked your pennies lately? Because for every coin collector who got lucky, there are thousands who walked right past their fortune. And if you're thinking, oh, that could never happen to me, remember, neither did the person who found theirs in a parking lot. Seriously, they picked it up for good luck and ended up with $900,000 worth of it. The 1976 D Lincoln penny isn't just a story about money. It's a reminder to look closer, to value what's right in front of us, and to believe that sometimes the smallest things hold the biggest potential. You see, wealth doesn't always announce itself. It hides in plain sight, waiting for the curious, the persistent, the ones who dare to look a little deeper. So tonight, when you empty your pockets, take one extra glance at those coins. Because who knows, the next time you do, you might be holding a piece of history and your own $1 million story. If the story inspired you, don't let it end here. Subscribe now, because next, we're revealing the top 5 pennies still circulating today, worth over $500,000 each. You'll want to check before you spend another cent, because sometimes the path to wealth doesn't start in a bank. It starts in your change jar. Imagine holding a penny worth nearly $1 million, right in the palm of your hand. Sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? But what if I told you that a simple 1994 Lincoln Memorial 1-cent coin with no mint mark has shocked collectors and sold for up to $9.94, 000? Now, before you rush to your coin jar, take a breath. Because in the next 10 minutes, I'll reveal how an ordinary-looking penny became a life-changing treasure. I'll show you the exact features to look for, the mistakes that made it priceless, and how a forgotten cent could turn into your path to a wealthy lifestyle, here's a question for you. When was the last time you actually looked at your pennies? Most people don't. They spend them, drop them, lose them under couch cushions. But what if the coin you ignored could be your ticket to financial freedom? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll see why thousands of people are now searching through their loose change, and why this one penny from 1994 has the entire numismatic world buzzing. Let's start with the basics. The 1994 Lincoln Memorial Penny was struck in Philadelphia. That's why there's no mint mark beneath the date. Over 6 billion were minted that year, which means finding something unique among them feels impossible. And yet, a few rare varieties slipped through the cracks of the U.S. Mint. Mistakes so small that even experts took decades to uncover. Now, here's the twist. Some of these 1994 pennies display extraordinary minting errors, double dies, off-center strikes, and even die cracks that split Lincoln's profile in ways that make collectors' hearts race. One of these error coins, authenticated by a top grading agency, shocked the market when it sold for nearly $994,000 at a private auction. Imagine that. A coin meant to be worth 1 cent, transforming into nearly $1 million artifact. But here's the catch. Most people will never know they have it. Why? Because they never look closely. They assume every penny looks the same. So, what should you look for? Start with the lettering. If you see signs of doubling on words like liberty or I in God we trust, your heart should start pounding. If Lincoln's profile seems slightly misaligned or ghosted, that's another red flag, and a potential gold mine. Quick question. Have you ever laughed at the idea of a penny being worth a fortune? Most do, until they find one. Then the laughter turns into disbelief and excitement. And just to interrupt your thoughts for a second, check your car's cup holder. Go on. Some of the most valuable finds have been discovered there, right next to old receipts and melted gum wrappers. Funny how million-dollar luck hides in the most ordinary places, isn't it? Now, let's connect the dots. You see, the story of the 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln penny isn't just about metal and minting. It's about awareness, about paying attention to what others overlook. It's the same principle that wealthy people live by. They see value where others see nothing. And maybe, just maybe, this coin is your wake-up call. You're sitting at your kitchen table, sorting through old coins you've had for decades. You spot a 1994 penny that looks slightly different. You feel a jolt of curiosity. You pull out a magnifying glass and your pulse quickens. Could this be the one? You send it to be graded by a professional coin service. Weeks later, you get a call. The voice on the other end says, "Congratulations. Your penny is authentic. Estimated market value, $994,000. You laugh, then cry, then realize your life just changed because you decided to pay attention. That's the emotional thrill coin collectors live for. Not just the money, but the discovery, the hunt, the transformation of something ordinary into something extraordinary. Now, before you rush off to eBay or your attic, here's a truth bomb. Time is running out. As more of these rare coins are found, their value could shift. Markets move fast. Demand is high. Serious collectors are hunting for 1994 no-mint mark errors right now. So, what can you do today? Gather your pennies. Every jar, drawer, and old piggy bank counts. Get a magnifying glass or use your phone's macro lens. Study each detail. The lettering, Lincoln's face, the rim. If you spot anything unusual, submit your coin to a reputable grading company like PCGS or NGC. Because every day you wait could be a missed opportunity, a delay between you and potential wealth. Let me ask you something. What if the universe already placed your $1 million opportunity in your hands, and you just haven't seen it yet? The truth is, wealth doesn't always start with grand investments or inheritance. Sometimes it starts with awareness, with a single penny that rewrites your story. Now, if you've stayed with me this far, that tells me something powerful. You're not just curious. You're ready. You're the kind of person who takes action, who looks beyond the surface, who refuses to let opportunity pass unnoticed. So, here's your challenge. After this video ends, go find your change jar. Dig through those coins. Look for the 1994 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark. Examine every curve, every detail, every tiny imperfection. Because that one coin, that forgotten cent, could be the spark that changes everything. And when you find it, remember this moment. Because one day you'll tell people how you watched a video that made you look twice at a penny. And that's when your journey to wealth began. Opportunities don't always come dressed in gold. Sometimes they come in copper, dull, scratched, and small enough to fit in your pocket. The wealthy aren't lucky. They're observant. They notice what others dismiss. They act when others hesitate. So, don't just dream of wealth, discover it. It might already be in your hands, hiding in plain sight. If this video lit a spark in you, make sure to subscribe and share it. Because the next person you help might just find their $1,000,000 penny. And it all starts with awareness. Remember, fortune favors the curious. And your journey could begin with a single cent. Imagine this, you're sorting through a jar of old coins. A penny slips from your fingers, clinks against the table, and catches the light just right. It's ordinary, or so you think. But that little copper coin could be worth nearly $1,000,000. Sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? Well, stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how an everyday 1996 D. Lincoln Memorial penny became a $996,000 treasure, and how you can spot one just like it hiding in your change. But before we dive in, let me ask you something. Have you ever thrown away a penny, thinking it was worthless? If so, you might have tossed away a fortune. Let's start with the basics. The 1996 D penny, minted in Denver, was part of a massive production run. Over 6.5 billion of them were struck. That means it's one of the most common coins in circulation. So how on earth could one be worth almost $1,000,000? Here's where the story gets fascinating. Some of these 1996 D. Lincoln Memorial cents were struck with extreme minting errors, double dies, off-center strikes, or even planchet anomalies that slipped past quality control. These rare flaws transform a 1-cent coin into a numismatic marvel. Picture this. A coin struck slightly off-center, with a doubled Liberty or a faint second image of Lincoln's face. An unintentional masterpiece of U.S. mint history. Collectors go absolutely wild for these errors because they are accidents that can never be replicated. And when rarity meets perfect condition, that's where the money starts to soar. One such coin, a flawless 1996 D. Lincoln penny graded MS69 by the Professional Coin Grading Service. Essentially near perfection. Recently shocked collectors when it was valued at an astonishing $996,000. Let that sink in. A penny that once bought a gumball now carries the weight of a luxury home. Now, I know what you're thinking. There's no way I have one of those. But think again. Most of these valuable coins were found by ordinary people. Folks who simply took the time to look closely. That's the magic of coin collecting. Extraordinary wealth hiding in plain sight. Still with me? Good. Because the story gets even more intriguing. Now, before you start flipping over every penny in your house, take a breath. You don't need a magnifying glass glued to your face like Sherlock Holmes just yet, but you do need to know what to look for. Let's bridge the excitement to the details. If you find a 1996 D penny, check 3 things. First, the mint mark D under the date. It confirms the coin was struck in Denver. Second, look for any doubling on the date, lettering, or Lincoln's features. And third, inspect the condition. The higher the grade, the higher the value. Even a small scratch can slash thousands off its worth. If your coin looks flawless, like it just left the mint yesterday, you may have something special. Now here's where the urgency kicks in. Every year that passes, fewer of these coins remain in pristine condition. They're being lost, spent, or damaged. So every day you wait could mean missing your chance at the financial discovery of a lifetime. Let's talk about what happens when luck meets preparation. There was a man in Texas who used to keep a small jar of coins on his kitchen counter. Nothing fancy, just loose change. One day, while rolling pennies for the bank, he noticed a 1996 D penny that looked unusually sharp. Out of curiosity, he had it graded. Months later, that same coin fetched nearly $1,000,000 at auction. That's the power of awareness. That's the reward for curiosity. Now, I'm not saying every penny in your pocket will change your life. But imagine the freedom if one of them did. The dream home, the travel, the security for your family. All from something you once thought was worthless. The moral? Small things can hold unimaginable value if you know how to look. Now, you might be wondering, are there other coins like this? Maybe an even rarer penny sitting quietly in your collection? Hold that thought, because in my next video, I'm revealing the top 3 modern pennies worth over $1 million and how one of them was found in a parking lot. Trust me, you won't want to miss that, so next time you drop a penny, don't just walk away. It might not be bad luck. It might just be $1 million rolling under your couch. If this video sparked something in you, maybe a bit of excitement, maybe a touch of curiosity, then take action. Go grab that jar of coins, dust off your drawers, and start looking. Because opportunity doesn't always knock loudly. Sometimes it jingles quietly in your pocket. Subscribe, stay tuned, and remember, wealth isn't always about what you earn. Sometimes it's about what you discover. Imagine this. You're cleaning out an old drawer, maybe an old coin jar sitting forgotten in your garage. You reach in, and there it is, a simple copper-colored penny dated 2002 with a small D under the year. You think nothing of it. Just another coin, right? But what if I told you that this unassuming penny could be worth more than $200,000 today, and in some rare cases, even millions? Yes, you heard that right. A single 1-cent coin, worth more than most luxury cars, more than your mortgage, maybe even enough to change your life forever. Before you rush to grab your change jar, let's uncover why this tiny coin has become the center of one of the most surprising discoveries in modern numismatics. Because hidden in plain sight, the 2002 D. Lincoln Memorial Cent holds secrets most collectors overlook, and only a few lucky people have uncovered them in time. Now, before we dive deeper, ask yourself this. How many 2002 pennies have passed through your hands over the years? Hundreds? Thousands? And could one of them have been the one? If that question gives you a shiver, good. You're in the right place. To understand why this coin has stunned collectors, we have to step back in time. The year is 2002. The Denver Mint is producing billions of Lincoln Memorial Cents, part of the long-standing design that had graced U.S. pennies since 1959. At first glance, the 2002 D penny seems ordinary. Lincoln's profile on the front, the memorial building on the back. But deep within that massive production run, a few errors and unique varieties slipped through, unnoticed, unrecorded, until sharp-eyed collectors started finding them years later. One of the most valuable varieties is a dramatic double die. A minting error that causes parts of the coin's design to appear doubled, especially around the lettering "In God We Trust" or "Liberty." Under magnification, these features seem to shimmer, giving the coin an almost ghostly appearance. And here's where it gets exciting. Because of how rare these double die errors are, and how few have been confirmed in pristine, uncirculated condition, their value has skyrocketed. In auctions across the country, certified 2002 D Lincoln cents with these unique characteristics have fetched staggering prices. The record so far? An astonishing $202,000. Think about that. A coin that most people ignore, tossed into jars or dropped on sidewalks, selling for nearly $250,000. Now, you might be wondering, why would anyone pay that much for a penny? It comes down to rarity, condition, and demand. The more perfect the coin, meaning no scratches, no discoloration, no wear, the higher the value. Collectors are hunting for those few flawless examples sealed in plastic slabs, graded by experts from PCGS or NGC as MS67 or MS68 red. And here's a small pattern interrupt for you. Did you know that some people are literally digging through their couch cushions hoping to find one of these? I'm serious. It's the modern-day treasure hunt, and the treasure just might be hiding in your pocket change. Now that you know it's possible, the real question is this. How can you find out if your penny is one of those rare gems? Let's walk through that process carefully. Find a 2002 penny with the D mint mark under the date. That mark means it was minted in Denver. Examine it under a magnifying glass or a coin loop. Pay special attention to the inscriptions. "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 2002. If any of those appear doubled, thicker, or slightly shadowed, you might be holding a double die error. Check the overall color and condition. A bright, reddish shine means the copper plating hasn't faded. A good sign. And finally, step 4. Have it professionally appraised or graded. A small investment in grading could mean the difference between a $10 coin and a $200,000 fortune. But here's the kicker, and it's a big one. These coins aren't staying hidden forever. Every year, more collectors enter the market. More coins get discovered, certified, and sold. which means the number of undiscovered treasures in circulation is shrinking fast. So if you're thinking of checking your coins later, remember time is money, and in this case, possibly hundreds of thousands of dollars. Picture this for a moment. You're sitting at your kitchen table, holding a penny you almost spent on a cup of coffee. You send it off for grading, and weeks later, you get the call. Your coin, that simple 2002 penny, has been certified as a rare double die error. And just like that, your life changes. Imagine paying off your debts, taking that dream vacation, or even starting a business. All because of a single coin that most people wouldn't look at twice. That's not fantasy. That's the power of awareness, patience, and timing. Now, if you're thinking, that kind of luck never happens to me, think again. Every major coin discovery started with someone ordinary. Someone curious enough to look a little closer. Here's a quick question to reset your attention. When was the last time you actually looked at your pennies? Or do you just toss them aside, thinking they're worthless? Because sometimes, what looks worthless is just waiting for someone to see its true value. That's the lesson behind the 2002 Memorial Lincoln Cent, and, honestly, behind life itself. The extraordinary is often hidden in the ordinary. And before you rush off to check your coins, here's something to think about. Rumors have surfaced of a 2002 penny with a mysterious minting flaw so rare that experts believe it could break the $1 million mark. A discovery yet to be verified, but eagerly awaited by collectors around the world. Could it still be out there, sitting in a jar on your shelf, waiting for you to find it first? If you've ever dreamed of living a wealthier, freer life, of turning something small into something life-changing, this is your moment. Start by checking your change. Look closely, because your next penny could be worth more than your car, your house, maybe even your future. Stay curious, stay sharp, and remember, the next great American treasure might be hiding in plain sight. If you found this video valuable, hit that like button and subscribe for more rare coin discoveries and hidden wealth stories. Because here, we don't just talk about money, we talk about unlocking value in everyday life. Who knows? The next video might just uncover the coin that changes your destiny. So go on. Check your pocket change. Because your millionaire moment might be closer than you think. Imagine finding a single penny in your pocket. One you've probably seen 1,000 times before. It's brown. It's ordinary. It's a Lincoln Memorial penny from 2005. Nothing special, right? But what if I told you that this very coin, a 2005 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, could be worth more than $205,000 today? And in rare cases, even millions of dollars. Pause for a second and think about that. A 1-cent coin, worth more than most luxury cars, more than some houses. Now here's the twist. Thousands of people have spent these valuable pennies without ever knowing it. You might have done it too. So today, we're going to uncover the hidden fortune inside your spare change. By the end of this video, you'll know how to identify this rare penny, understand why collectors are willing to pay a small fortune for it, and discover how a simple coin could change your financial destiny. Stick with me till the end, because I'll reveal the exact features that separate a 1-cent coin from a $205,000 treasure. Let's go back to 2005, a year of transformation. George W. Bush was in the White House. The housing market was booming, and deep in the U.S. Mint, millions of ordinary pennies were being struck for circulation. But hidden in that flood of copper-plated zinc was an error, a small imperfection that would soon make history. Now you might ask, how can a mistake turn into a jackpot? Well, in the world of coin collecting, errors are gold. A missing mint mark, a double die, or an off-center strike can turn pocket change into priceless art. The 2005 no mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny is one of those rare anomalies. Normally, pennies minted in Philadelphia bear no mint mark, but certain 2005 coins have striking irregularities that caught collectors' eyes. Unique coloration, misaligned dies, and even ghost-like doubling on the date or lettering. That combination of rarity and condition created a collector's frenzy. One particular 2005 no mint mark penny, graded at MS69 near perfection, sold for an astonishing $205,000 at auction. And here's where it gets interesting. Only a handful of these coins are known to exist in such pristine form. So, while everyone else is busy scrolling social media, some savvy collectors are quietly scouring penny rolls, estate sales, and old coffee jars, hunting for these hidden treasures. Quick question. When was the last time you actually looked at a penny before spending it? Exactly. Most people don't. But that's the difference between finding fortune and missing it. And before we continue, let's lighten it up for a second. Imagine you're at the grocery store handing over a penny to pay for gum, and the cashier says, "Sir, you just gave me $200,000. You'd probably faint right there in aisle 3. Funny, but it's true. These coins are out there, circulating unnoticed. Now, how can you tell if your 2005 penny might be worth a fortune? Here's what to look for. No mint mark under the date. Flawless condition. Shiny. Bright. No scratches, possible doubling on the words Liberty or In God We Trust. Strong strike and perfect centering. Signs of a high-grade minting. If your coin ticks those boxes, get it professionally graded immediately. Services like PCGS or NGC can certify your coin's authenticity and condition, and that certification can be the difference between a $5 coin and a $200,000 coin. But let's pause for a second. You might be wondering, why would anyone pay so much for a penny? Simple. Collectors crave rarity and perfection, and the U.S. penny, especially those from the Lincoln Memorial series, carries emotional and historical value. It's America's story, in copper. From the wheat pennies of the 1900s to the memorial design of the mid-century, every variation tells a story of innovation, war, hope, and change. The 2005 no-mint mark penny represents the end of an era, one of the last modern memorial designs before the Lincoln Bicentennial Series took over in 2009. It's not just a coin, it's a snapshot of American history. Here's where things get real. Every day, people throw away opportunities, literally. In the couch cushions, in car cup holders, in dusty coin jars. And some of those jars might hold a life-changing coin. Think about it. A single penny could be the spark that ignites your journey to financial freedom. You don't need to be rich to start, you just need to pay attention. Check your pocket change. Visit estate sales. Ask your grandparents if they've got old coin collections tucked away. Because right now, coins like the 2005 no-mint mark Lincoln penny are appreciating in value. The market for rare U.S. coins has surged over 40% in the last decade, and high-grade Lincoln cents have become one of the hottest collectibles in America. And let me share a small secret. The biggest coin finds often come from ordinary people who never expected to strike gold. There was a retiree from Ohio who found a rare 1943 copper penny while sorting through his late father's belongings. Sold it for over $1 million. A college student discovered a double-die penny worth 6 figures in a $5 roll of coins from the bank. These aren't just lucky moments. They're reminders that fortune favors the observant. So, the next time you hold a penny, don't see it as worthless change. See it as a symbol of possibility. Because who knows? That tiny coin might just be your ticket to the life you've been dreaming about. The one filled with wealth, freedom, and peace of mind. Before you click away, here's your challenge. Tonight, go through your coins. Line them up, grab a magnifying glass, and look carefully at every 2005 Lincoln Memorial penny you find. A no-mint mark, perfect condition, sharp details? Get it checked. Because that one moment of curiosity could turn into a $205,000 revelation. And if you want to learn how to identify the most valuable pennies ever made, including one that sold for $1.7 million, make sure you're subscribed and watching our next video. Remember this, in the world of rare coins, knowledge is wealth. The only question left is, are you willing to look closely enough to find yours? Imagine this. You're standing at the checkout counter, fishing out a penny to pay for something small. You glance down, and unknowingly, you could be holding a coin worth over $200,000. Sounds impossible, right? But stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how a 2017 Memorial Lincoln penny, something most people overlook, could turn an ordinary wallet into a fortune. Now, before we dive in, ask yourself this. When was the last time you actually looked at a penny? Not just saw it, but really looked at it? You might laugh and think, it's just a penny. But what if that little copper coin is your ticket to a life-changing discovery? Because yes, there is a 2017 Lincoln Memorial penny out there with a value soaring up to $217,000. And people across the United States are searching for it right now. Just like treasure hunters chasing gold in plain sight. Let's rewind for a second. The 2017 penny was struck at the Denver Mint, part of the long-running Lincoln Memorial cent series that has been circulating since 1959. Most of these coins are utterly common, billions of them were produced. But as history has taught us, even in oceans of ordinary, there are always a few extraordinary ones. So what makes some of these 2017 D pennies so rare and so incredibly valuable? It all comes down to minting errors, die varieties, and those tiny imperfections that can make the difference between a penny worth 1 cent and one worth a luxury car. Now, don't click away yet, because this story isn't just about coins. It's about opportunity, about paying attention to the small things others ignore, and about turning curiosity into wealth. Picture this: the Denver Mint, machines clanking, copper-plated zinc blanks rushing through presses at incredible speed. Even with today's technology, perfection is a myth. A small die crack, a double strike, or a misaligned die can transform a coin's destiny forever. That's exactly what happened with a few of these 2017 D Lincoln pennies. Collectors discovered specimens with dramatic doubling on the date and the word liberty, as well as striking die clashes and plating errors. One of these coins, authenticated and graded at the highest level, sold for a staggering $217,000. Yes, for a single penny. Pause for a moment. Imagine holding a coin that cost 1 cent to make, and realizing it could pay off your house, your debts, or your dream car. It's thrilling, isn't it? But here's where things get even more fascinating. Most people who own these valuable coins don't even realize it. They're sitting in jars, drawers, glove compartments, hidden in plain sight. And that's what makes this story so compelling. Because it's not just about luck, it's about awareness. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why would anyone pay that much for a penny? Great question. The answer lies in history, rarity, and human obsession. Collectors aren't just buying metal. They're buying the story, the anomaly, the chance to own something that defied the odds of mass production. Let's be honest. If your spouse sees you squinting at pennies under a lamp tonight, they might think you've lost it. But trust me, you'll have the last laugh when you show them a coin worth 6 figures. Still not convinced? Then ask yourself, how many times in life do we overlook opportunities because they seem too small to matter? Sometimes, it's the smallest things that make the biggest difference. All right, let's get practical. If you're serious about finding one of these rare 2017 D Lincoln pennies, here's what to look for. Start with the mint mark, D, just below the date. Then inspect for signs of doubling. Look closely at Lincoln's eye, the date, and the word liberty. A magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe will help. Any doubling, die crack, or plating blister could signal a rare variety. And here's where things get exciting. Sometimes, even coins with minor errors can sell for thousands. It's not all or nothing. The right collector, the right grade, and the right moment can turn a simple penny into an investment-grade treasure. If you find one that looks unusual, don't clean it. Don't polish it. Just protect it. Contact a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can authenticate and grade your coin, which determines its true market value. Now, here's the urgent part. Every year, more people are learning about rare pennies. More coins are being graded, and more treasures are being found. That means the window to discover these hidden gems in circulation is closing fast. So the question is, are you going to be the one who finds it, or the one who hears about it after it's gone? Because somewhere out there, in a pocket or a coin jar, sits a penny that could change someone's life forever. Could it be yours? Think about what this story represents. It's not just about money, it's about possibility. Every coin tells a story of human effort, error, and destiny. And for those who pay attention, life rewards them in unexpected ways. The 2017 D Memorial Lincoln penny teaches a simple truth. Fortune often hides in plain sight. Most people chase big wins, but the wise ones, they look closer. They observe, they learn, and they act. And maybe that's the real lesson here, not just to search for valuable coins, but to see value where others don't. Maybe this penny is more than just metal. It's a mirror reminding us that wealth often begins with awareness. And who knows, maybe your next Starbucks coffee could cost you a fortune. Not because it's expensive, but because you hand over the wrong penny to the barista. So yes, check your change before your latte does so. Before you dismiss that pile of loose change, take a closer look. Grab a magnifier, a bright light, and a curious mind. Because the next coin you touch could be worth not 1 cent, but $217,000. And if you're watching this right now, it means you're already ahead of most people. You're searching, you're learning, you're preparing. The wealthy don't just collect money. They collect knowledge. Now it's your turn. Go check your pennies. Your story of discovery might be waiting right in your pocket. And if you found this video inspiring, subscribe for more stories of rare coins, hidden treasures, and the secrets that turn everyday finds into extraordinary fortunes. Because your path to wealth could begin with a single cent.